Question is, who is calling for peace in Gaza? And well, let's begin with the Chinese. And sorry, apologies for that. Right, so here we are. So over the weekend, Wang Yi, who's the Chinese foreign minister, was speaking to Antony Blinken, who we've just seen. He was stressing that all major nations need to support some kind of international conference on this. He's calling for peace, a peace conference proposal, which, as you can see on screen, this was originally made in June this year, the 14th of June. This was published by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of the People's Republic of China, because Mr. Abbas was in China meeting Xi Jinping. So they were calling for this international peace conference proposal then, before this latest conflict began. But of course, it was pretty much ignored. Now, this proposal was raised again by China last week with Brazil, because Brazil is the current chair, because the chair of the UN Security Council rotates, and they are the current chair. So they're attempting to bring this into the Security Council again. Here's what Wang Yi said. China calls for an international peace conference with greater authority and impact as soon as possible to galvanize a more broad-based international consensus. So that's the Chinese position. This is the Russian position, because Putin has said that Russia is ready to work together with constructive partners to quickly bring a stop to hostilities. So China and Russia calling for an end to this. Not so much in the West. Jordan here, according to Reuters, has cancelled the summit with Biden, Sisi and Abbas in Amman. So that is not going to take place. I'm not sure what contribution Biden would have been making to this in any case, because he is not, he's clearly not even considering peace as an option at this stage. This is the comment from the Iranian foreign minister. A new comment on this: time is running out. He's saying they should find a solution within an international framework. They should know that time is running out and should find a political solution before reaching the boiling point. I mean, this is increasingly very dangerous situation in terms of its capability to expand. Well, of course, as we know, the US have now sent, how many aircraft carriers do we believe?
Well, the report that I saw last night was that 4 carrier groups were now out. They're not all in position, but this is a really significant escalation by the Americans. So they've talked about the Gerald R. Ford going to the Eastern European with support carrier, but they seem to be now unleashing 4 carrier support groups on the world. One, of course, will be on station off the coast of China, effectively. But this is the Americans really trying to assert their position as the dominant military power in the world. I think it has some weaknesses, but we'll leave that for another time.
Well, we don't have to leave it, because here's a comment from Ray McGovern talking about them being in the Mediterranean. So this is what he said: into the Valley of Death sailed the 10,000 aboard aircraft carriers Ford and Eisenhower, sitting ducks for swarming drones and other weaponry not dreamed of by those who made short work of the charge of the Light Brigade. Perhaps Blinken, Newland, Austin want that, or are they just dumb? I think that's a really important point.
Yeah, the dumb question is an interesting one, because I was looking at a short clip of Admiral Radakin talking to the Defence Select Committee, where they were questioning him on the state of the British military and was it ready for war with Russia. As he fumbled and bumbled his way through, he simply would not admit that clearly UK's forces are not ready. And I think the same thing is going on within the Biden administration. Certainly there's been a massive change in warfare. Hypersonic missiles have changed the whole battlefield, as have drones and swarms of drones. But of course, there is no way that the American military dare admit that it would have any concerns about its ability to conduct what it would regard as normal carrier operations. So I think we're going to see some really interesting things come out into the open. But do I think there's this immense confidence inside the American units themselves? No, I don't.
But the question remains, just to finish this off: why is it that it's only Russia and China and the so-called global South that's calling for an end, a cessation to the violence and peace? We need to be taking this up with our political leaders, because at the end of the day, it's the support of the UK, the EU, and the United States which is keeping this thing going. So this is actually our responsibility to sort out, as far as I can see, at least as far as our politics goes. Debbie, did you have something else?
Well, I was only going to add that Debbie and I spent some time this morning trying to have a look at who was calling for peace, and we simply can't find any appreciable government body or the government in UK. The Church of England has put out a statement where they sort of call for peace, but it's not really couched in any strong terms, and certainly we're not seeing the Archbishop of Canterbury at the government's door saying you need to stop this killing. So it appears that there is, under the surface, there is a line to keep this violence going, no matter what the cost to the populations in Gaza or Israel itself.
Yes.